We started a bit late today. We apologize. But we're really grateful that you're able to join us this morning. My name is Edem Knight-Tay, and always I am excited to be here, especially because we have those conversations that help us to build homes out of our houses. How are you doing though? Every member of your home. My folks are okay. They were still in bed when I left. I hope your family is doing well. Your loved ones are good. But if for any reason you're going through any tough time, I simply will say, may the good Lord strengthen you. Keep believing, keep hoping. Ebefa wate. Igo bi ebefa. Enyo nyoga ibahi. Obeye ai. Home Affairs is brought to us by Vitamilk, indeed a nutritious beverage that feels good anywhere, anytime. If you have been following, then you would know that for the past couple of weeks, we've been having conversations about our young people, ushering them into safe and healthy relationships and the struggles and the tough times parents go through to do that. Today, we are following up on that conversation, and we have a very interesting one coming up. So we dubbed it the switch from no relationship with the opposite sex to bring the person home. So at what point do parents switch that way? And then sometimes it becomes a lot of pressure on the young people. So today we have them in the studio, not the parents. We're speaking to, some young people who have already started experiencing one form of pressure or the other from their parents, who have had, the endorsement. Oh, now you can have a friend, you can bring the person home and all that. And then they start guiding you into probably winning that person over because they have realized that the girl or the boy you're seeing is a good person and they would like you to be with the person. Then they start giving you all sorts of low-key, subtle pressure. They start mounting it at some point, and then it becomes a demand, So that's the conversation we're going to have. They're going to help us go back to find out from the no relationship stage to what were they saying? What were their parents' fears? Did they even understand them at that age? And then right now, interestingly, it gets to this point where you are relaxed and watching, and they are agitating. And you're wondering why. So that's the conversation we're having this morning. We'll be having a series of these conversations because there's so much. Earlier this week, I had an encounter. I visited a rehab home where, that place, there were lots of girls. It was just a place for girls who are abusing, one substance or the other. And the stories, I posted on my page that we need to wake up as parents. We have a lot of work to do. When I heard that now the drugs and the substances they abuse, they put them into cakes, they put them into sobolo they are drinking. Some of them will even infuse it with their fried rice, jollof rice, water, whatever it is. It comes they're in candies, it comes in different forms. So if you're waiting to see that your child probably is puffing, the regular way they puff it, if that's what the child is doing, then I'm sorry, you're getting it wrong. It's in lots of ways that they grind it and put it in their shito when they are going to school. I was overwhelmed, and these things are happening, and then a lot of them 14-year-olds are in rehab. So imagine how early they started, the blind side of their parents. And don't say that it's just boys, the girls are in it too. Some statistics I chanced on even says that there are more girls doing these things than boys. So I beg, we need to sit up, open our eyes. It's important we go out there, look for the money, and take care of them. But we can't take our eyes off them because we feel like, oh, now they are adults, they can be on their own, and then we can also have some breathing space to do some of the things we need to do. We can't take our eyes off them. We need to learn, be ahead of them, and be able to guide them. So we're going to get into the conversation right away. I have Stephanie Ajwa and then Lois Shola Adeyemi. They are all young people, early to middle to late 20s, who are already under one form of pressure or the other. Parents, we can be interesting. Yeah, some more. But we're switching on to a very interesting conversation. Chris Aja, good morning. You're welcome.
Good morning.
Say that again.
Good morning.
Great. How are you doing?
Amazing.
Okay, Lois is joining us in a bit. So we're having a conversation on the swish. I know you have all experienced it, right? Where your parents are telling you, as you're going to school, don't go and do this, don't go and do that. Don't do that and all that. And then at some point in time they start asking you, so who are you seeing? And you wonder, are you not the
what
same
happened?
person 2 days ago you were saying this and this
Exactly.
and this? So what happened? And it, quite often we don't like you to ask us what changed or what happened. You just have to obey and be going. I mean, it's quite a difficult subject for a lot of us parents, But
true.
I want to learn from you how you navigated that space. Chris, I'll start with you. So I want us to go back a little bit to, those times when you were being warned. How was it done? What were you told? And were you given reasons why you shouldn't?
Okay, good morning. So my experience was mainly from the point where you had to focus on your books, right? Because it seems to be the only way out. At that point, you don't have to go and be doing other things that could prevent or just put a spoke
Distract
in the wheel,
you.
of your journey in going to school. So if you mess up with school, whatever is supposed to be taken to be used to take care of you will be transferred to
The
baby coming and whatever. So your mind has to be on the fact that no woman, nothing, just focus on your books, marry your books and give birth to success, as they say. So that was the entire conversation from childhood. Yeah.
Okay, and you weren't curious what? I mean, they said it to you, you listened, and that was it.
Well, no.
Aha!
I mean, yeah,
Young people will always have their way.
I mean, with adolescence comes that exuberance, that desire to want to know new things. What are they hiding from us? What are they not telling us? And for me, because I loved to read, I had come across different articles that suggested that African parents will not tell you exactly what it is.
Yeah.
From way before, everything is couched into proverbs, into sayings, into some traditional belief, and linking it to some form of spirituality. So they are not telling you exactly what the actual thing is. So I'm like, maybe there's more to know. Let me try and find out for myself. So I can tell you, as of class 6, people thought I had already had sex.
Hey.
Yes.
Why? What were you learning?
No, there are things I could contribute to very easily, and it's like, if you tell them, no, I've not done it before, hey, Chris, be careful. These things you are saying, only a professional and someone who has had experience practically will be able to say things like this. But it was because I just decided for myself.
You were curious.
Yes, read wide, learn about this. Matter of fact, you watched a few things, just to be able to say things better, and also put myself in a space where I know if I do decide that I want to get into this, I'm doing it because I know about it and not because I'm just curious.
But your parents didn't know that you were learning otherwise.
No.
And these conversations, you never had them in their presence, right?
Nope.
In their presence, you listened.
Oh yes.
You were obeying everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, bro.
At that point, I think we were the minority. The minority will have their say, and the majority will have their way.
Wow. But you look back to you. I mean, you're quite mature today. You look back to the conversations your parents were having with you at the time. What nuggets do you pick from them? Or what do you? Let me put it this way. What do you think they did wrong in the way they communicated these things to you?
I think, okay, let me just make it specific to me. I think for me, they didn't quite accept the fact that I was growing, and maybe I'm a bit matured in terms of being able to have conversations like this. And so at the time when I was ready, it was like, you are still a child. You are not 18 yet, so we cannot have these kind of conversations with you. And it's spanned from relationships to their own lives to even career prospects, different things. So it wasn't the kind of parenting, I should say, that would encourage conversations like this at an early age. It was, I think that for me, it's something I felt wasn't too good. I hope to do better, but I was hoping that, okay, maybe from 11, 12, when I actually knew a lot about these things, I would have had my father or my mother sitting me down, having conversations like this. Because, Edem, when you are watching your the telenovelas and all of these things on TV, some scenes come and then someone is giving you a side eye, based on what is happening, but you cannot talk about it, but you understand everything going on. And either they even switch the channel in an attempt to not get you to watch these things. But I'm tech savvy. I was always online. I see before you even see it, So I wish they had started that conversation way earlier.
Where do you think the gap was? Was it because they were ignorant of how to communicate it, or it's just cultural?
I think it's more cultural than just being ignorant about it, because I know they know. I really know they know. And like I'm saying, it's not just the cultural bit, but the family system that we're into. Maybe what they had also,
of course,
been indoctrinated into. So I realized that across, cousins, aunties, uncles, they all have a certain way. When they are speaking to you, even about their father, about their grandparents, you get to realize that the family is very conservative. They don't really push to talk about things like this. Yeah.
I see. But now there's pressure. There is, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
So I mean, I'll come back to find out. So how did this switch? I'm sure mommy especially. Were you ushered into the switch where you're now told that, okay, you have to get a girlfriend, you have to do this because you're expected to have children and all that. I'll come back to find out how were you ushered into this phase of your life that I'm sure now your mother can probably call you and ask you, so how is your girlfriend? And you will say she's fine, So we'll get into that.
Sure.
And some of these conversations for me, I also use it to really educate myself because I am there, you see, and they'll come and ask you, Mommy, so at what age did you say? I said, how is this important, really? But we have the conversations.
Yeah.
We talk about every single thing.
Nice.
I remember we went on a vacation and we watched a movie, Love and Basketball. It's a very old movie, and you get to a point that you hear them ranting. Hey, I just keep quiet and I'm watching them. So when we finish, I'm like, but why were you people so upset? And then everybody starts giving you their opinions and everything. That's why you know that, look, these people, they are very far advanced. And if you don't work, then you have an issue. We didn't finish it. Every time they're on my neck, it's been like over 2 months. They're asking me, when are we going to finish the movie? Interestingly, they have watched it. They have concluded the movies on their own. But we haven't watched it as a family, so we are waiting for that one. Anyway, let me come to you, Aja. How are you doing?
Amazing.
Aja is the baby of the three of them. So I'm going to find out from you also. I mean, the conversations that were had with you. Because I remember when we spoke, Aja says, oh, I have a best friend.
Exactly.
Mommy and Daddy knows you have a best friend.
Exactly.
They approve of it.
Yes.
Okay. So before then, let's go back to when you were not expected to have a friend, let alone a best friend.
So I want to say good morning to your amazing listeners. And do I even start from? So I'll pick it from the whole period stage of menstruation. Yeah. Because even though my mom never sat me down to talk about these period stuff, as at 11, we were getting this kind of education from school. Reproductive system, that was the most exciting thing to study.
the giggling.
The most exciting thing, when they pick up the boobs and then, everybody's super excited in the classroom. So fortunately for me, my school actually had a time where we actually had this woman called Miss BB who would come to school and come and educate the girls. So we got the education from there as compared to getting the knowledge from our parents. So they used to come visit us, come with always and stuff like that. And, they come, and they tell you, when you start menstruating and you see a man run, you get pregnant and things like that. At that young age, it was really scary. It was really scary. And even though I had not started my period yet, I was unsure. So I'm like, what is going on here? It means, that kind of stigma. When you sit by a guy and he's like, oh, she's bleeding, like that kind of thing. And the whole pregnancy thing, drop out of school. It was an advice I took for myself from these meetings to not have sex until I think I'm ready for it. And even though I had not started the whole cycle thing, I was still scared of pregnancy. Crazy, I was still scared. Exactly. So when this thing, when the cycle started, even
and you didn't get to share these fears with your parents.
Not at all. Not at all. It was a thing. It was a personal thing, as though I'm growing in my own space. And so at age 11 to 12, within that age. So when this whole thing started, as a Ghanaian mom that I have, she was a bit confused because she didn't know how to start this whole thing. It's like a bit of shyness. I don't know how to put it. And they had this local names for it, like Waya Bra. I felt like it was too heavy. Like, can you just say something nice? And they'll move you. My mom actually moved me from one woman to another, older women, because she felt like she was not capable enough.
And this is Ajua in just her in her early 20s. This is not too far from us.
Wow. Exactly. So she felt as though she would not be able to
do good with the subject.
Exactly.
Wow.
So she took me to, the elderly friends and aunties, and it was actually one horror movie to the other because
I feel your torture.
I'm telling you, I was so tortured. So when this whole thing started, then she's like, "Oh no, this is not really the first one. Let's wait and then let's get more signs. Let's see how heavy it can get to actually accept the fact that you have started the whole thing." So it was actually a draining stage for me. Like, what is going on here? Because
I'm sorry,
because Miss BB says, when you see the blood, it means you have started the cycle. So, like, let's get straight to the point, And she had to take me. Finally, this whole thing started, and it was looking like a ritual in the first place, because you wake up and then you have, a tour and egg, and I was like, yo, you're relaxed. You're relaxed. And unfortunately, I was not raised in a home of both parents. Okay, I'm a single parent child. Yes, so I just grew up with my mom, and we were so close growing up, to the extent that if a guy tells me he likes me, I'm able to tell her. Of course, she likes the whole sex topic, but she doesn't. She likes the whole sex topic, but can't actually educate on, the cycle and
break
stuff
it
like
down
that.
For you and
even
all
if
that.
she would try, it would actually be in the local language, and it will not really sit so well with you, because it's coming with some proverbs and some scary stuff. So she would take me from one elderly to the other. When you go, they are like, so all these things, this process actually got me to keep myself to today. Okay, so even though it was scary for me, it actually did something to my life, and So moving from one elderly woman to the other, they're like, hey, they say why you're bi and things like that. And when men are passing around, I'm like, cut the topic, okay? Everybody has it in school. Why is mine looking so weird? And that was the socialization.
But that's also because you don't know their journeys too.
Right? So that was the socialization for me, and this whole thing of school dropout. As a single parent child, you are not willing to go and get pregnant because exactly, because your mom is actually working hard to make sure you have food. And the good thing was, my mom went to every extent to make sure I had everything I needed, and that was the greatest thing I ever had from my mom.
And you weren't going to disappoint her.
Exactly. So what would be the excuse of chasing a guy and not to run away from the fact that I'll have feelings for my opposite sex as at that young age, like a crush type of thing? Because I remember in junior high school, there was this guy called Desmond. I'm just hoping he's not watching or listening. And he was pretty cute as at age 11. So this is where I actually found myself, or I realized I could actually have feelings towards someone or feel physically attracted to somebody. So I was in Form 1, and this guy would just come and pass by your decks and give you some eye. You don't actually know what he wants, but bro, like, go straight to the point. You like me, it's okay.
And you also liked him.
He actually didn't say
but
it.
You liked him
in a way, because I don't get it.
It's so interesting. Even us at this age, she's still denying it.
So I went home and I told my mom.
Oh, you did tell your mom?
I told my mom that, there's this guy in my class, and he looks at me some type of way. It looks like he likes me. And my mom, wow, when you see that kind of thing, I'm like, this is actually a wrong move. I can't actually talk these things now. So I kept my feelings to myself. So growing up through to senior high school, even if you like someone, you keep it to yourself because you feel like this is not the right time for it. And my mom told me when I turned 18 years, then I can actually start saying, this person looks nice. And not actually to say I'm dating this person, because she feels I'm still young and decisions. I'll still have to be helped with my decision making and things like
Of
that.
course.
So yeah, that was actually.
Do you think she
it
was
for me.
wrong?
She was so right, honestly, because that's how come I am who I am today. So proud I can stand anywhere and talk about sex because I know the girl, because I know the girl is so clean, you know. And this type of socialization has actually brought the best out of me and has given me this kind of confidence I have today. So actually, this was my journey.
Interesting. Oh my god. I mean, I remember when I was growing up, I was told that the moment a man touches you, you become pregnant. I think 2 days ago I was having a conversation with a friend and I was telling him how these things started. And I mean, yeah, you were put into that state where, so does it mean even if my brother touches me, I'll get pregnant? Because the mind hadn't really developed to understand this touching thing. And it wasn't going to be explained to you in any way. And then the worst happened to me when I asked, how are babies made? Look, I was taken to my grandmother. Just that question. My grandmother too was going all over the place, you know, with it. And unlike you, at the time, well, we taught those in school. I think that, I mean, I asked these questions before the topic actually popped up in school, you know, so they managed to confuse me a little bit. They managed, but times have changed. When my children, I think, how old was this girl at the time? Like 6 or 7, asked me, how are babies born? Hey? Am I ready to answer this question? Where am I going to start? Not that I can't, but question was, where do I start from? So, and you can, the kids these days, they're very smart. So I started trying to be dramatic with them. I go like, see, the woman's stomach will be very big, right? And you take her to the hospital. And sometimes, I said, sometimes they will have to split the tummy open and bring the baby out. That's not what they want. They know about this. Yes, they know that. They know at that age, they knew. And I was expecting that as kids, they would go like, hey, mommy, but that would be painful. No, they were so calm and collected. And the follow-up question was, and at other times, because they were expecting the first one you didn't say. And you weren't telling them, so you've said your own. At other times, Abi, you said sometimes. And at other times, in fact, I developed a cough. I wasn't ready. And it's okay to say that, okay, looking at your age and what you're asking me, I wasn't ready. And you were hounded. Mommy, you didn't answer the question. You didn't answer the question. So I had to prepare myself to answer the question. And I did. I mean, you had to sit them down, explain things, and then, you know, answer the questions. Their body parts, they will come. We had, you know, pseudo-names for them when they were growing up. One day somebody walks up and say, is this how this thing is really called? And I said, no. So I mentioned the name. Okay. So now this is a girl. She's going to wee. She says, haven't you finished? Oh, mommy, I'm dabbing there. I'm like, okay, you don't go saying these things all over the place. And they asked, so if I can say my stomach, my mouth, why can't I? Because that's the name for it. What's so special about it? And you had to again go into the conversation to talk about the fact that, I mean, these are your private parts, and that's how come it is so hidden. You have to find ways to explain why. You can't be calling it all over the place like that. Let it rest and let it, you know, hide, and you grow on that. But in my home, I don't know what conversations we don't have. I don't know.
No
what
holds barred.
No, you need to, because they are hard, they are ahead of you. We had a conversation about you know, sex, and then somehow the subject of condoms came up, right? And then you go like, okay, this and this. And then someone says, oh, I know how it is used.
Wow. And
you're told that it is rolled over an erected penis.
Like,
I was like,
This is my experience or my book.
They're watching so many things.
Yeah.
It's taught in the classroom.
Yeah.
And the teachings now is not like those
Before,
times
yeah.
where,
Yeah.
no,
Right.
you have to be quite open with it.
Yeah.
They're studying proper biology.
Yeah.
And they are, and you're expected to really be open-minded and all that. So, but then you're grateful to God that you can have these conversations with them and guide them. It's okay that you know,
Yeah.
but there are times that you have to apply them and not now.
Yeah.
So I'm saying all of these things because if you're not, if your parents were parents of today, and come up at we're very much aware, you know. Let me come to you, Lois. Lois and I met in our kitchen, right? And we're having a conversation. I actually says, Edem, you don't know. Now the pressure. I'm like, oh, but was it not the same woman who said that? She says yes. Let's share the experience with us.
So mine,
Is she listening?
no. She asked me this morning, today is Saturday and you're up really early. Normally you leave at 8. I said, I have an appointment. Just so she doesn't know I'm seated here. So I'm sorry, mommy, but unfortunately you can't listen.
I'll take her and forward the conversation.
Share the link with it.
Yeah.
So Edem, I grew up in a more religious home. I say religious because my dad is a pastor.
Oh.
And my mom
Also,
also for mommy. So
That's
you know
it.
how that story goes.
I know.
Like, first of all, there's pressure mounted from church, and the fact that you have to live a certain type of way. Like, I tell people that you don't know how hard it is for pastors' children because everybody assumes that they are perfect and that they can't even do certain things.
Everybody thinks that you have to be
You have to be perfect.
Yeah.
And like you always have to be on point. So it's like recently I was having a conversation with my mom and I was like, do you know that I didn't know God till I got to SHS? And that was like SHS 2. And she was like, how? You grew up in the church, you were reading the Bible. And I was like, no, because I was doing it for you. You know, I went to church for you. I played the part for you. I'll go to church, I'll sing, I'll do everything. And all I was doing was because, okay, first of all, my parents, I have to keep my parents' image clean.
Oh, God.
To-
You all have been through things.
Yes. It's like, I have to keep my parents' image clean because first of all, anything you do will come back to your parents. Like from church members saying, oh, this girl, I didn't know that's how she is. Hey, if the pastor's daughter is doing this, hey, then who am I not to do that? So it was like a lot of pressure for me. You couldn't have conversations because my parents were brick. Even up to now, my parents are like a huge, because now that my mom is coming down, because now I see how my mom acts with my little sisters, I'm like, who are you and what have you done with my mom? Because this is a total different mom, and I think it's because she's grown over time. But when she gave birth to me at a point I told her that I think my mom is wicked because my mom won't have conversations with me. She would sort to, I won't say violence, but my mom would rather use anger to solve most of the issues and like fear. So for a long time, even into my teenage years, my early teenage years, I was scared of my mom. Wow. I won't talk to her about, we didn't have those things that people do. Oh, I love you, good night. No. Have a good day. No. How was your day? Wow. Barely. Once a while. If it's your birthday, then it's special. So your mom is asking, oh, how was your day? But the rest of it, no. And also because my mom was conditioned to think that if you marry a virgin, everything is going to work good for you. So my mom grew up in a house where she was told that, oh, you have to marry a virgin by force. And my mom broke her virginity at 28. The only man my mom has known is my dad. She got into marriage thinking that everything was going to be smooth. Got into it 2 years in, realized that it's not as smooth as they said it to be. So I think pressure to keep the good look that everybody told her that she would see made her very hard on me. Exactly. So if I'm told that being a virgin religiously will give me all the good things in marriage. Exactly, in marriage, my children have to be on point. So my mom and I were having conversations. My mom and I were doing how is school, how is everything looking for you. My mom never asked me how are you feeling. the only time my mom will be compassionate is when I'm sick. Not because my mom is wicked.
This one is hard.
Yeah, if my mom is very compassionate, then I'm not feeling well or something. And mind you, my father is doing church stuff, so my father wasn't even in the picture. My father and I never had conversation. It's just that when my mom was too hard on me, you come in and say, "Oh, you're doing too much." That's when I'll say my dad and I connected, but we never had conversations.
But you lived with them.
I lived with them. So I lived majority of my life on my own, in my head, all the thoughts, everything. And just like when I started menstruating, I woke up and I was scared to tell my mom. I knew about it. I had learnt about it. I was a late bloomer, so mine started in GHS 2, and then I go to my mom and I'm like, this is what I've started menstruating. I need pad, and she was like, hey, when did you start? Blah blah blah. Hey, so she was rather panicking for me. I was like, why are you panicking? Like I know these things. It's just that cramps, the idea of cramps hadn't started in my head. So it started the next day. I was really cramping. I was on the floor, and then she comes and she says, oh, like this is what happened. She gives me at all, and that's all. She doesn't say anything again. She's like, oh, now you're a woman. She calls a couple of my aunties. They tell me, oh, now you're a woman. So yes, when a man comes to you, don't allow. Right now he can destroy your life. So Edem, for me, my mom and I, it was a big break. I didn't talk sex. I didn't talk about my life. My mom doesn't know me. It's now that my mom is getting to know me. She doesn't know me, and I know I used to cry a lot, like in my early teenage years, because there were so many things. I will get emotional. Like there were so many things I wanted to tell my mom, because I'll see her and I'll be like, Mommy, this is what's happening to me. Like, but I couldn't explain. And then it made me look like a deviant. No, it's made me look like a very deviant child, because I had so many pent up emotions. I ended up doing the very things my mother thought I shouldn't do. So the conversation she didn't have with me, I was having with myself. And then myself told me that, okay, it's good to do this. So I was a tomboy. So I'll go about, instead of being in my classroom, I'm going around with boys, because like be with boys. And then we'll go out, like we won't sit in the classroom, we'll go and roam, come back. I wasn't learning much and all of those things. So it took a toll on me, my mental health. I couldn't tell my mom anything. I couldn't tell anybody anything. Mind you, church, who are you going to tell? Because obviously when you're done having the conversation with that church member, they're calling your mom like, hey, Obano, this is what she's saying. So for me, I had a lot of conversations in my head that I couldn't have with my mom. Fast forward, I turned 22 and my mom is in my face like, oh, you're growing. And I think that's where you've reached. You can start bringing men.
Just like that.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like there was no conversation. Like no. It's like my mom waited for me to get to uni. After uni, then my mom says, okay, now you're done with school. So the next thing, now that you're working, the next thing is you have to bring a man home, and you have to get married, because nowadays menopause starts very early, and I want to carry my grandchildren. I'm like,
hey.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, no, this one is.
And I'm like, madam, can you like relax and let's have
this switch is a very interesting one.
It was a serious switch. It was a serious, she tried having this conversation with me when I was in level 200. Okay. My dad was around, and then my dad got pissed and went to her and said, why are you having this conversation? She's not even done with school.
Wow.
So if you think my mom was a brick, my dad was a whole mansion. Like my dad and I, we don't have conversations up to now. My dad and I are not really, and I'm really thankful that the things I knew, because I learned a lot of the things on my own. I realized that now, okay, when I do this, I get into trouble. And also my mom had scared me. You have to be a virgin, else your life will not look good. If you don't marry a virgin, things will go wrong for you. And when you get pregnant, nobody's going to like you. No man is going to come for you. So I only kept my virginity for a long time, because okay, my mom said if I do this, it will harm me. But then after, when I turned 16, 17, I was like, no, if I keep my virginity, I'm keeping it for myself. And this was a phase where I had started learning more about myself. I had started knowing God for myself. SHS and university, you are living alone. You are not really under your parents' umbrella for them to be telling you everything to do. My parents didn't even like my dad's church. You don't wear jeans. But then I was like, no, like this is me. I'm not going to live two lives for you.
Like that one, they would have sucked you from.
No. So there was. When I got to uni, then I was like, no.
Because Ademi is a trouser.
Yeah. I was like, I went home with the trousers because I said I don't like to live two lives. I have done that too much, like in my life. I have done too many things growing up, and it's because I was living double. So when I go to church, I'm an angel. When I'm in my own corner, you don't know what I have
you
done.
Are who you are.
know. Yes. So I ended up living like double lives, and then this time I went home with my trousers, and I was like, Mommy, Daddy, this is what I wear in school, and I'm not about to sit down and because even when I started wearing
you mean
uni,
when you're in the university?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Because in the uni, I was like, when I got to uni, even when I wear the jeans, I'm quite scared because I'm like, hey, what if a church member meets me? And I was like, no, this is too much. Like, this is too much for me. So I went to them and I told them, Mommy, Daddy, this is what I wear in school. If anybody calls you, please let them know that you know, and I've told you, not because I want to disrespect you, but this is the easiest pick me up you can wear, and it's even decent because when I wear a dress, I'm now thinking about how to sit, what I'm doing, and I don't like that. It's not comfortable for me. It was hard. My parents didn't talk to me for months.
Are you serious?
For months, my dad didn't want to see me. He said I was disgracing him. The church members would not want anything to do if he's preaching in the church that they shouldn't wear this. Who am I? It was a lot for me also. So even we are five, and then there are 4 people behind me. My mom, it's now that my mom is getting aware that okay, she's done us wrong for a long time, and she's trying to do damage control, because I ended up murdering my younger ones. Especially my mom gave birth to 4 girls. And just the boy. The boy is behind me.
The older one.
And I'm the older one. So the girls come to me, ask me all the hard questions that your children, your daughters are asking you, and I'm having to play mommy to them. So I'm telling them, and sometimes I'm like, am I doing it the right way? Because it took a lot for me to also get comfortable. Because when they started coming to me, I'm like, no, we are not having this conversation. Wow. Then it hits me that this is what my mom did to me. For a long time, I didn't have anybody to talk to. I didn't have anybody to share experiences with. One day, I had an infection that I didn't even know I had. Oh, when I go to the washroom and I pee, I see blood, and I couldn't tell anybody. Edem, for months, I couldn't tell them anything. One day I went to school and I fainted. And then they took me to the hospital. My mom came and then saw that, okay, this is what's happening to her daughter. And then she broke down. And it's because we've not had this conversation. She's like, how many months have you kept this? And I'm like, oh,
I'm sorry.
I know. And she's like, how many months have you kept this? I'm like, oh, for like a long time, because I didn't know how to tell you. I felt like when I tell you, you think
you've done something.
Yeah, that's a guy had gone there, and it wasn't really that. Nobody had gone there. I was genuinely scared. Like every day I woke up scared that, what if I I die? What if something happens to me on the way, So for me, it was like I always say I had a very terrible upbringing. Not because I don't love my parents. There's little ways my parents make me know that okay, they love me, and I'm like, okay, they still do care, but it wasn't.
Now I am feeling very bad. You know, I am feeling very bad and guilty because I remember telling her that. I mean, I don't know, just out of the blue, I said, I'll take you out for lunch so we have a chat. We met in the kitchen again, and I said, and then she's asked me twice, Edem, our date. And you're just making me look like, oh no, I haven't made time for you. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, Edem, it's okay.
Next week we will do that.
So the switch to moving from all this trauma to saying, okay, bring your man home. For me, I was like, no.
I'm not bringing anyone.
Yeah. I was like, no. One day I was like, I intentionally went in and I was like, you scared me. Like for a long time, you told me not to look at men, so I don't even know how to talk to men. For me to even bring them home, I don't know. When men approach me, I don't know how to talk to them. And I saw my mom grow very like scared and like it's like regrets.
What have I done to
Yeah,
you?
regrets. And it's just recently, I think last week, that I sat with my mom and I told her that I've been through a lot that she doesn't know that I've been through.
Oh.
And I had to be strong for her because my dad also ended up falling sick. Also, a big majority, or the reason I've not really had a conversation with my dad is because my dad has been sick for about like 15, 16 years. So my dad's sickness made it very difficult for us to communicate. So most of the thing was on my mom. So I also understand my mom because Edem, raising 5 kids on your own with no stable job,
Yeah.
you know. And my mom is like a single parent because my dad,
Hasn't been well.
I'm not saying my dad doesn't care. You know, he's not in the position to do so. So my mom is mothering 5 children.
Oh,
First of
dear.
all, she's inexperienced because, as I told you, the only man she knows is my dad. You
Which
know,
is okay.
yes. And recently we are having conversations. She's telling me how for 16 years she's not been actively, you know, seen as a woman. If you get what I mean.
Yeah, I
So
do.
yes, we've had candid conversations now
In
that make me
recent times,
understand
the things that
all
she was
the
going
things. Yeah.
through.
And right now my mom is my best friend, and now I see her talking to my sisters. They still can't have certain conversations with her, but she's way
She's
lenient.
better.
Like sometimes I say, I'm like, what's happened to you? You know, it's just like it's time, and I think she's also learned, and she's seen how her first daughter turned out. Last time she asked, she was like, she's shocked that I even turned out like this,
But you
knowing
have
how
turned out
difficult.
good.
Yeah, knowing how, and I'm
turned
so
out
proud of
good.
myself. Sometimes I'm like, I didn't think I'll make it.
We're so proud of you. Oh my world.
But yeah, so it's traumatic, but at least we've had
It hasn't
and
been
now the
easy.
pressure is mounting. My mom is a twin, and she and her twin keep calling me like, "Oh, yeah, Ole Chichilo," like that's Ewe, Ole Chichilo. I'm like, I know.
They should allow. You're only 25. They should allow. Wow. Wow. This is Chris.
That's full.
You're flanked by 2 beautiful women and hearing a lot of stories this morning. Wow.
So
I'm coming. I'll come back to
Okay.
you.
Okay.
To be very honest, I wasn't expecting such candid conversations from my guests. No way. And if you're a parent out there, this conversation is for you. I'm not sure where you are with your children. I'm not sure what conversations you're having, but you need to be there. You need to be there, seriously. And I mean, you're listening to Lois, you've listened to Ajwa, and you can also tell that parents have had their own experiences. They're going through their own challenges. And we don't know it all. We're not Jesus. Like, we don't know it all. And sometimes it is, where do I start from? And like Chris also said, right? Some of you are extremely curious. The things you say they shouldn't do, they want to know why you said they shouldn't do them. So the child wants to go, and why are they saying I should not do this? And then in trying to understand or know more, they say curiosity kills the cat.
Right.
And if you don't take care, you'll go and learn it the wrong way. So parents are wondering, what do I say? What do I not say? How far can I go? How far can I not go? And sometimes if they are very uncomfortable, then they build this wall that Ademi is talking about.
Right.
And then they would rather raise you in fear.
Yeah.
So they put fear into you. You can't come, you can't talk about it, and they're expecting that you have listened and you're doing, because all they have done is warn you. And as a child, you're supposed to heed to the warnings. But listening to you, we are understanding that, and Dr. Safo also said it, there's so much ongoing with our young ones. They would need an avenue to talk, an avenue to vent. We thank God that you guys have turned out so well, because there are some who don't. Last week I had a conversation. I'll find time and bring them to the studio, some young girls, and one of them mentioned that she started doing drugs because she was depressed. When I met her, she was 22, and she had done drugs for 5 years. I go, so at what age did you realize you were depressed? She was down, and then she thought the best thing to do was to go to the ghetto and go and get drugs, because they had been educated in school about substance abuse and what it tends to do to you. I mean, the euphoria it creates and all that. So if I am feeling this way, then for her, I would want to experience the euphoria and feel better. So she went, she got it, and yes, she was high. It excited her. She felt it calmed her down, and that became it. You should see her before and now photos. She was deformed. 5 years. Sometimes that's what she'll have the whole day. She gets money, that's all she wants to do. You should see her. It's now that she's getting better because she's in rehab, And so if you're not talking to them, drawing them close, and we're not creating the avenue for them to talk, you may not be lucky, like your parents are, and then your child may fall into the wrong hands and are introduced to the wrong things. So we're just pleading. You don't know, you cry. Encourage them to talk, and then we will learn and be able to, raise you people better. I'm apparently a year. It's been like I make slow self. Wow. But I thank God for your lives, though. I'm going to come to you shortly, and then we'll talk about, okay, so now that you're here. Now that you're here, bring your man home. What conversations, or bring your woman home, what conversations are they having with you beyond you can have a friend?
Right.
Fortunately, they have been married in relationships. So are they opening up on relationship conversations with you? Does it sound like you're being prepared for that relationship as well? Or it is also just bring the person home and we leave it there? We'll get into that. Ejuwan is so wrong. I will lie to you. Right? Apart from that, we have to work, we have to look for money, we have to pay bills, and it's not just you, there are other ones and all that. So Charlie, not be easy. We all have to try. You the children too, you too, you have to try. Yeah. So are you ready for the dance party of a lifetime? The Rotary Club of Accra Airport, Rotary Club of Kambabeka Crab. Rotary Club of Accra Premier International, Joy 99.7 FM, and the Gold Coast Restaurant bring you Pop Chain 2024, a special dance party to raise funds for breast cancer awareness and screening. Come dance to the live music of Lipstick Queens, the renowned all-ladies band, as they give you a dance party like no other, whilst we raise funds for breast cancer awareness and screening to allow early detection in our communities. The Pop Chain 2024 will take place on Saturday, 16th November at the Gold Coast Restaurant behind the police headquarters. Doors open at 6 p.m. and the party kicks in right from 7 p.m. Tickets are selling at 200 cedis and are available at the front desk of Joy FM and Gold Coast Restaurant. For tickets reservations, please WhatsApp 0244 663968. Number again is 0244 663968. Go grab your ticket very fast. And to support this worthy cause and initiative, you can send donations via our mobile money platform by dialing star 1714 star 003 star 3 hash. Code again is star 714 star 003 star 3 hash and follow the prompts. Pop Chain 2024 with the Lipstick Queens is here. See you there. To see their children grow healthy and become more intelligent and physically fit. To achieve this desire, every parent needs to ensure that their children are given nutritious foods that has the essential nutrients which can promote their well-being. One of the best of such foods is Vitamilk soy milk drink. Vitamilk is made from whole grain soybean, which is a good source of plant protein, and it is enriched with omega-3, 6, and 9, calcium, and the essential nutrients and multivitamins recommended for your daily living. Vitamilk has no artificial coloring, no artificial flavorings, and no preservatives. So choose the Vitamilk charm for your children because the proteins, the calcium, and the omega-3, 6, and 9 in there have all proven to help your adorable children grow smarter, healthier, and stronger every day. It comes in the regular soy milk drink. You can also buy it in the Vitamilk Energy and the Energy Booster with no caffeine, the choco, the banana, the strawberry, and you can buy it in the 250 mils or the 1 liter Tetra Pak. Vitamilk is indeed a nutritious beverage that feels good anywhere, anytime. If you're just joining us, you are a bit late, but don't worry, the conversation is right there on our YouTube and on Facebook at Joy997. You can catch it. Today we're talking about the switch from you're not allowed relationships to bring the person home. Now we want to see the person. And I've been talking to Lois, I've been talking to Chris and Ajwa, and they have shared their experiences. Very emotional experiences, with us. And for me here, it's just important that, that's my takeout from this conversation. It's important that parents, we try to be present. Be present and listen to your children. Be present and have the conversations with them, no matter how hard it is. You won't have it. What should they do? Lois just said that for years, she lived in her head. She lived her life on her own. She lived with both parents, but lived alone. That should be very traumatic and very traumatizing for any child. And if we are listening as parents, then we should take a cue and say that we don't want our children to go through that. You are just only lucky that you still have your child by the time you're waking up, because it could be dire in certain circumstances. Yeah. Chris, you wanted to make a point.
I wouldn't say it's surreal, but I don't have immediate female siblings. I don't have sisters.
Oh, okay.
It was until my father remarried that I got a stepsister. So hearing all of these stories in terms of, traditionally how African mothers treat puberty when it comes to the female child, it's all new information, really. Because even the friends that I was having conversations with around that time, they wouldn't be telling you this. They most often than not, they are letting you know about these things when it's already started, and they are sort of like pros in it, and maybe they have their all-female clique and they can have conversations around them. They've already been warned not to talk to us anyway, so you can't even start conversations like that with them. So hearing this for the first time is
also because girls are good at hiding. Girls are really good at people think that guys are the cunning ones. I'm like, have you met women? Like, ladies are really good at hiding things, like feelings, emotions. We are really good at doing that. I don't know how we do it, but very strongly women know how to hide. That's why we don't tell. Do you understand? So you can see somebody and say, oh, this person is so, like, she looks really good, like nothing is wrong with it. I'm telling you, she's fighting mental battles that you don't know.
To be frank, this is the first time I've had any conversation on the cycle and not felt some type of way.
You feel some type of way?
Always.
My 14-year-old doesn't feel some type of way.
No.
Because the way it's described, I feel it. Like, I feel my tummy, because they talk about the cramp, the twist, and all of those things, and I'm like,
I thought it's looking at you like,
okay, hold on. Okay, no, when I say I feel it, I don't mean I get. Now I understand your physical pain.
You should go to the labor ward with your wife and shake about it.
Exactly.
Yeah?
and then you
Edem,
understand.
I don't even like hospitals in the first place. That would be a struggle. I hate blood.
A lot of men have tried it and collapsed.
I don't like blood. I don't like hospital. I don't like all of these things.
There's a message that says that the young lady has really got me thinking that I have to wake up in my relationship with my 17-year-old daughter who is going to SHS3. All I could tell her is I love you, take good care of yourself, and focus on your books for a better future. Now I have to find every means and to get more closer to her for more conversations. Thank you very much. And this is from Isaac. Well, this is all we want these conversations to do, to help you know that no, Lois, you've gone through a lot. Seriously, you've gone through so much. Now, so I want to find out from you guys. Now that we are here, we are here, right?
Yeah.
Right. By the grace of God,
Yeah.
we have gone through that stage. I mean, as challenging as it may have been, God has seen us through it.
Right.
Lois, I'm very happy that relationship with mommy is mended now to an extent. You're best friends, you can talk. She's doing better with your siblings, and you won't hold it against her ever.
Not at all.
Beautiful. And especially now that you also understand her struggles, you see. I thank God that she still has you at this time. I am very grateful to God for that. And for you, Ajwa as well. Mommy struggled with the subject. I like the fact that she likes the whole subject, but everybody struggles with it somehow, And then Chris also, I thank God also for your life. That in as much as you were very curious and knew things and did and tried things, mommy and daddy they still have
that
you.
side. Did and tried things.
I kid you not.
Present evidence.
I kid you not, But now that we're here, though, I want to find out. Would you say that your parents are doing better, ushering you into that next phase of life that they are expecting to see you?
Yeah.
They want to see you in a steady relationship now.
Right.
And then be married and then have your own family. I'm sure it's same with all of you.
Yeah.
What conversations are they having with you ahead of that stage they're expecting to see you in now? And again, I'll start with you, Chris.
Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't think we are there yet.
Still?
Yeah.
But it's been demanded of you.
No, we
Mommy hasn't asked when you're getting married.
No. I have to present the subject. No one.
Tell me about it.
So I was listening to Lois and
Wow.
I could relate in a way because I'm also from a religious home. My dad growing up will be hearing Elder Kumi, now Senior Minister Kumi, my mom was a choir star.
Chris,
we used to have those what you call it, the cassettes. So all the gospel songs that Tego Sister, Susie and Ma, Jane and Benny, Sidney Thompson, Moses Okay, Noble Nketi, all of those things. I had the cassette. There was a sharp tape at home. You play, you rewind, you learn the song. So I was that kind of a person. So I was easily relating with whatever Lois was going through, or as she narrated. Till date, I still do not have that relationship with any of them.
Wow.
My mom is a bit more relaxed, I should say. So I was able to at one time let her know, okay, this is who I'm with. Even visited her at a point, and so she was trying to bond with her and all of those things, but we never had an actual conversation on when are you getting married, now that you are old, you need to do this, you need to do that. No, it's never happened.
Wow.
I'm still alone.
Oh, okay, that's really shocking. Are you the oldest son?
Yeah. Edem, I've told you this before. So I am
that is shocking.
I'm in my line of father siblings, he's the first male child. I know he has two elder siblings who are women, so sisters, and he's the first male child. Now, among those line of siblings, when they all gave birth, his sisters gave birth to girls. He is the one who also gave birth to the first male child among the family. So I'm reminded all the time that even if you take away your father, in your line of cousins,
You
you
are
may
next
have
in line.
elder, but you are the first male child.
Wow.
And so know the kind of responsibility you have. And
Ah.
this comes from external my aunties and all of that. But my parents, no.
So have you on your own taken your lady to show them?
Yeah.
Okay. What was it like?
For me, it felt like there's nothing to hide and there's no time to waste.
No, I mean, what was the reception?
Okay, so my mother is quote unquote, like people see her as, oh, my boyfriend. That's how my mother, vibes with me. And so when it was time, I just let her know I'll be coming to see you with someone.
Mm-hmm.
So this is who the person is. So just flow. It didn't have to go through some formal.
There was no drama.
No, it was we just eased into it.
And that's
Yeah.
it.
My father, I don't know how I'll do it, but I will think about it. I can't talk to my father. My father is like talking to, I don't even say my boss, because sometimes I can have longer conversations with you, Edem.
Yeah.
But less than a minute's conversation, we are
done.
done. Hello, how are you? It's like writing a formal letter. No pleasantries and all. Just go straight to the point and end it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I'm learning a lot this morning.
So I mean, I do not have. I'm not sure. Maybe based on what they've been telling, narrating and the kind of conversations. Lois has a best friend in her mother now, and all of those things. For me, and also I like I said, my father remarried, so he was divorced at a point.
That one is also.
It was just him at home. My mother was elsewhere. We were living with my father, so he goes out, comes back late because he's trying to look for other stuff. So I became again deputy parent to
your siblings,
2 younger boys, and it was crazy.
Wow. There's a message that says, sometimes it's really painful. Parents are not there when we really need them. Nobody to confide in. The only option is friends and social media. And this is from, I mean, imagine the times when there was no social media. Yeah. I mean, I think my mother tried. I mean, we the 1860 people, that's what my children told me. They asked me, hey, mommy, in the 1840s, so people didn't have internet. They say, me, born in 1840s. I will not mind you. But we had conversations. We had conversations. I remember very well. And as much as she passed on very early, I was barely 15 when she passed on. But ahead of that, I remember that we talked quite a bit, Now, Adjo,
Edem.
our best friend.
Yeah, right.
Adjo at this point is not allowed to say that I have a boyfriend or she has a best friend.
Bestie.
I like how we are growing into it.
So, there was actually something that I had wanted to make mention concerning her story, and I think parents should be more vigilant now, especially students in senior high schools, because a lot of things are going on that we can't even communicate on here. So it's not just about getting to know them by their emotions, but by looking at them like in a way, because there are a lot of things they are doing, honestly. And I wanted to chip in this funny statement. Like growing up, how were you able to communicate to your mom, like, I need a bra? Were you able to do that?
No, my mom, she'll buy it for you. She doesn't. My mom just look at it and say, okay, so now you deserve to wear a bra. So my mom didn't ask you, okay, no. She's looking at you. And when it's big, she's like, okay, when you wear it over time, it's
you grow into it.
Oh my God.
So that's one interesting thing too, because I think entering senior high school, I had, to some little oranges, and I used to do tubes a lot, and I didn't know how to communicate it to my mom that, oh, I need a bra. You know, it feels like, hey, maybe we are in things. You know, you see how your bra, and it looks like my boobies are more bigger than my mom. So me trying to communicate that, oh, mom, I need bra. I feel like it's a very big word, you know. Like, what do you need a bra for? You're just a baby girl, you know. So I couldn't easily have that kind of conversation with my mom, like, I need a bra and things like that. So I think it was through my school mother in senior high school. She's like, oh, Atra, your boobies are coming. Like, can't you see? So my mom came for one visiting, and I'm like, you know, it wasn't easy though, because I didn't have to communicate it. I was like, Mom, my tube is I need, you know. She's like, and you know, she was shy. She was shy to actually go straight to the point and say, oh, you need a bra. You see, so like all these little things too, they matter, because it makes us feel as though we are growing and we are making it too obvious, even though they can see it. Like they are seeing it and they are not saying anything. So it makes us, you know, shy in a way. Yeah, so I think I'll just leave that one there.
So let's quickly talk about the conversations you're having now.
So
with your mom though.
Yeah. So my mom is actually my best friend, you know. We have two different perspectives here. She's always been my best friend, you know. When someone approaches me, like, I tell her everything, because you know, as I said, I'm a single parent child, and that's how far we've come. So going to uni, I told my granny, I told my mom that, you know, when I get to level 200, I'll just see if I can start dating or something. And my grandma was like, oh yeah, sure, because I feel like as at that time you know the atmosphere on campus, you know how everything looks like and how you can manage studies and relationship. So I was actually happy when my grandma actually gave me such response, because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a big girl now. I think they're realizing it. You know, so exactly. So I met someone on campus, and initially my mom was like, she's that type of person when you have a male friend, she's like, oh, address husband, just trying to get
information.
You get it? So she can actually usher you into that kind of understanding that you can actually be cool with male friends, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. So that's how it started. Like, even at church, oh, Adra talks to this guy a lot. That's Adra's husband. But literally, there's nothing going on between us. And at a point, my mom was actually scared, because she's like, oh, I haven't seen my daughter talking to guys. Oh, is this thing really going to work? But then it actually worked, you know, Edem. So I actually waited. Even though I met guys in uni, I waited till I was done with school, because I was so focused, like, I still have to make sure that like the woman is proud of me before I start to do things. So I think when I turned 21, she's like, hey, so you have no male friend? You see that guy, you know, let me see your male friends. I started showing her pictures. It's like, oh, so this one has not said anything. I'm like, he has said something like 2 months ago. He's like, oh, what did you say? What was your response? You don't tell a guy you don't like a guy straight away. You don't do things like that.
Parents can be interesting.
You don't do things like that. As a girl, you know, if you keep pushing away guys, it will get to a point you join the Aglo at the independent. You join the Aglo at the independent. If you keep pushing the good men away, by the time you grow, you don't find a good man. So, and then in Nantem or when in that firm, you know, that kind of thing. And this matter.
So we need that form.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So based on how I was raised, I was also like raised in a religious home. Yeah. My mom was, you know, that staunch Christian. Pentecostal, so always praying and things like that. So I was looking forward to finding someone who's God fearing, and I feel like that's my breed. You know, I can't say I'm a fish and I'm looking for someone on the land, you know, to pair with. It doesn't work like that. This is our religious understanding. So I was looking for, you know, someone who is God fearing, you know, cute, and I was praying about it, because before then I could be blushing.
So your best friend has these qualities.
Oh yeah, I was so specific.
Did you see her reaction?
I was so specific, you know. Because I remember, you know, that period where I was not talking to guys, like, really, I was actually praying about it, because my mom made me understand that I can communicate to God even when she's not there. So always talking to the Holy Spirit. I'm like, Holy Spirit, I want a guy that is tall, that is like fair, like he should be handsome, he should be thick. I don't like slim guys, that kind of thing. And I'm blushing in prayer. Can you imagine?
Blushing in prayer. Oh my goodness.
So I met this one fine guy in my lecturer's office. It was actually a coincidence. So we were actually submitting assignments and we had to do referencing. So Mr. Busiako, he was like, Achua, did I teach you people referencing in class? I was like, yes. And this fine gentleman, he just happened to come and submit his assignments too. And he took his assignment and he had not done the referencing. And I was like, oh, say you've taught us. And this guy was looking at me like, really? Really? So Mr. Busako was like, go to Adwa and let her teach you.
Hey.
So it started from there. And coincidentally, I found him in my area. I was going to buy cocoa. And I was like, hey, you. He's like, you this girl. And, we started talking from there. And he used to come home. My mom was so excited. Like, my mom has,
drama.
Mom, where did he? About my monsieur. Like, that kind of thing. And, when he leaves, then my mom was like, hey, what do you think about this guy? I think he's nice. So, like, send your casa.
This is your mom?
That's my mom.
Wow.
That's my mom.
I want to meet your mom.
Like, my mom can actually talk about sex. I think growing up is also sometimes parents are mindful of the stage, as Edem mentioned, because it got to a point in my life, like 21, she started mentioning sex. She's like, you do it this way. There's something called doggy, we had it. it was okay. So, yeah, we had it. Like, she was not hiding. That's actually where she could actually tackle much more than the cycle stuff. You see, so just like, a guy sometimes, when you get married, you do it like this, you do it like that. And it got to a point she was actually communicating to this best friend of mine because she was thinking, oh, this thing has worked. It has worked for me. So he's like, my son, just
I wish I had all the time to keep listening.
It's so interesting.
So yeah, we need to go. Hey, they are sacking us. So what I want to find out is that she is helping you with. I mean, you can talk to her about this, your best friend, the challenges you're experiencing, and then guiding you through.
And right now, she's bringing up the topic of knocking and stuff like that. She's actually moving fast forward.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Lois,
so
has it gotten better? We have just 2 minutes.
So my mom is not she's okay. So she's slowly telling you, okay, you have to get married. And when I told her recently that, I want to go to, like, my career is in front of me, and I think that when I get married, I'll be a little distracted. Or when I get married, I may, I told her that I'm also now living my life. I'm also now getting to know things for myself. So if she pushes me into marriage early, she will only disturb me. And this man got emotional on me, telling me how, no, menopause and the women, and if you don't give birth early, so you know what, I'm begging you. This man woke up at dawn, came to my room, said she wants to have a conversation. I was like, I'm going to work. She's like, you did give me a few minutes. And the few minutes, this man kept talking about how she begs me. She doesn't want me to turn out the way she did. She wants me to have like a really good marriage. She wants me to marry someone I can communicate with, someone who will give me kids and take care of me. But she doesn't want me to wait till I'm 32. I should do that like now, and I should start bringing that. Like I'm in my prime and I'm glowing, and anytime I walk around, men are looking at me. So I should look. I'm like, I'm not ready. I want to live a little. I also want to school. There are so many things. My career is ahead of me, and I think that when I get married and I give birth, it will hold me back for a while. So she should give me like a few years. And this woman is emotional. She's like, no,
she's not having it.
She's not having it. But she I'll say that the transition, like she's little by little, she's pulling me in there. Like, it's not like she's saying bring the boy now or tomorrow, but she's just saying, okay,
don't push it to the back burner.
Yes, just make sure that. But also, Edem, quickly before I go, I want people who have been through things like me to know that sometimes it's really hard for parents. Remember that when you're firstborn, your parents are learning with you. It's like you are the
Test trial.
Yeah, exactly. It's a try and error. So firstborns, I always say they go through a lot. Like it's like your parents make mistakes and you're like, okay, let's clean this place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's do this. So for firstborns especially, it's not easy for your parents to please be a little understanding with them. But outside that, it's okay.
I tell my daughter that when we get it right with you, we get it right with you.
Yeah.
She doesn't like that very much, but of course, that's what it is. But look, thank you very much. I have a lot of messages. I lived with my granny most of my life while I was a child. I remember going to sit with her to tell her something, and all she said was I should get up and go, and that I am not her friend to be having conversations with. I lived alone most of my life in my head and learned more about personal hygiene, especially during my menstruation in school. Like Lois, I mentioned for years without I menstruated for years without telling anyone in the house. I couldn't express myself in front of anyone. But for me, I didn't go to the streets or make any bad companies. We thank God for that. I was so careful and principled enough not to be easily influenced by my friends. I am 27 now, not yet married, but I always thank God I turned out well. Thanks too much to education and for my teachers. And until now, I am unable to go to my granny to speak to her about anything concerning me because that atmosphere was not created in the first. So a lot of people are going through these things, living in their head, wondering what to do. And we all need to be parents and guardians. Charlie, this conversation is for us. I'm wrapping up. Also for Joe, please, just 1 minute and I'm out of here. So Ariel, the wellness coach, all of you who listen to Home Affairs, she has a masterclass coming up this November. The dates are the 5th, the 12th, the 21st, and the 28th of November, and it's just 1,500. So please call 0243 600 899, 0243 600 899, and make a registration. It's going to be a very good one. It says the Blueprint Self-Care Masterclass for Married Women, and so please sign up and go learn a little bit. And quickly, the joy of every parent is also to ensure that your children are living very well, they are healthy, and they are growing very well, and they are happy. And to achieve this desire, every parent needs to ensure that their children are given very nutritious foods. So one of this is the Vitamilk soy milk drink. You can have it anywhere. It is made from natural soybeans, which is a good source of plant protein, vitamins B1 and B2. It has no coloring, no artificial flavorings, and no preservatives. You can get the Vitamilk Champ for your children today. It comes in the regular soy milk drink. You can have it in the multi-cereal with no caffeine, the Vitamilk Choco, the banana, the strawberry. You can buy it in the 250 mils and also in the 1 liter Tetra Pak. Vitamilk feels good anywhere, anytime. Let me remind all of you that the Habitat Fair, the Joy News EcoBank Habitat Fair is ongoing. Today is the last day. We've been pitching camp at the conference center right from Wednesday, and today is the last day. So please make your way there. It's raining deals, it's raining discounts, everything housing and your homes. By 8 a.m. the place is opened, so please pass by, go there with the family. There's a food village, you can hang out, eat, and then this evening too we have the last part of the happy hour, the jams and everything. You jam, you buy a house, you jam, you buy a land. So please make sure that you're making your way there. We are there from this morning up until about 9 p.m. today, so don't miss the last one. Dr. Linda Na, coordinator of MA Brands and Communications at UPSA, is giving out her new book titled Reflections, 50 Lessons at 50 to each of the guests who will be there. She believes her story in the book will be very beneficial to all of you. So please take advantage of that. Thank you very much. Oh, she's giving the books to my guest. Oh. Hey, sounds great. Okay. Yes. Okay. What about me? How? Okay, so then what it is that if I'm not getting one, then I'm taking all three. I'll read all the three. And then to you.
But Edem, can we do this again?
We will do it again.
I really enjoyed it.
That is it. Home affairs, you come on once, you become an people are sacking us. Hey, they're coming to beat me. We are out of here. I'll see you all at the conference center this afternoon. Thank you very much. My name is Edem Knight-Tay. Kojo, thank you. Daniela, everybody, we appreciate you. We're out of here. Bye-bye.